And this, with empirical data and evidence and facts, is why IIDAAAA is best boy. Before I begin this review of chapter 321 of My Hero Academia, please leave your own thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Now, let's get into it. What's up guys, I got Pencil here, and here we are to review chapter 321 of My Hero Academia, also known as... Actually, I don't know. I don't think this chapter has a title. I'm probably missing it. It's probably like staring right in front of me, but I just see My Hero Academia by Kohei Horikoshi. I don't really see a title anywhere. But regardless, this chapter was very, very, very good. But however, before I open the chapter, I do want to hit that color page. Golly, wait, two color pages really. Like first we have this like promotion for the new movie, and golly, as much as I am like completely indifferent to their designs, mainly because like I like the movie designs, but they remind me too much of the Fire Force outfits. I feel like those two styles shouldn't mix, but I know it's not like any sort of ripoff because you can tell by the different decals on it. But I love how Horikoshi can take black and just blend it in so many different ways. Like there are like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like there are 4 different shades of black, if I'm counting right. Well, black and gray, grayscale essentially. He took a very, very, very dark design, but highlighted it properly with all the green accents, made it contrast well with Deku's own hair color and eye color. It's like, I've said it once, I've many times, and I'm saying Horikoshi is an amazing artist, and I feel like I've never commented in like deep fact. I just constantly like passively mention this. Not only is he a great artist, but he's also a great like illustrator in terms of coloring things in, because that is an amazing amount of different detail and the amount of shading. Like to know how to, first you have to produce the image. In your mind, first you have to produce the image you want to draw. Then you have to draw that entire image. Then you have to draw that image with color so that all the colors mix well, and then you need to show off the different dimensions and forms to the outfit, so you have to essentially blend in different types of colors but keeping the main base color, which would be black. Then you have the different colors, which is green. Then you have to do the entire skin tone, and you try to make that look different from the rest of the design, because it's so... Horikoshi is a madman when it comes to artistic potential and just, I don't even want to say talent, because to be fair, I don't know Horikoshi's artistic history. If he's always been good at drawing, then he's always been good at drawing. But in terms of actual just like skill, the man's insane. He is a beast, one of the best in the industry, at least in my opinion. But of course, I'm just some random dude on the internet, so my opinion don't count that much. And also, I haven't really paid much attention to World Mission, so I have no idea who this little guy with the orange hair is in the bottom right. I have no idea who that is. So whenever that movie comes out, I guess I'll find out. I've never really like paid attention to the movies until they were in a theater near me. Then I go and watch them. But enough of that color page. Let's move on to the next one where we see, golly, once again, Horikoshi is a menace, bro. Like how do you think of this image? Like, man, I think he is a mecha fan. I'm pretty sure he did confirm that in an interview that he's like a huge mecha fan. So seeing them build this All Might mech makes sense in terms of the context. However, I love the different design principles he takes with all the different characters. Like, you can see how they're all basically wearing the same outfit, but he has to adjust it for some characters, how some characters have gloves on, some characters don't, how certain the amount of different coloring, the amount of different coloring detail would literally drive me insane. The man had 2 weeks to produce this, maybe, if that. He probably has deadlines to reach that are even shorter than that, but they were on break last week. But even still, to produce this alongside an entire chapter of more heat, like, Horikoshi, do you rest? Do you sleep? Do you eat? Do you breathe? Like, come on now, bro. How can you see? I may just dedicate an entire video to breaking down this drawing alone. Like, look at this darn thing, from the different colors to how everyone's paying different attention to the different shot perspectives, the way he had to manipulate certain characters to draw in certain perspectives, the way that you can still see Koda perfectly clearly and recognize that despite him being literally so tiny in the bottom left, right next to Bakugo. The different, oh my, I gotta stop. I have a chapter to review. I'm sorry, I'm going so deep into this art stuff, and I know some of y'all don't care about that. But for me, it just blows my mind. Horikoshi, amazing artist. But let's actually hop into the chapter itself. So we do see the All Might car pulling up once again. When they all were smart enough to mention that last chapter, I was a dum-dum. I didn't even notice it, but we do see it more in clear view. I'm assuming All Might's gonna pull up next chapter. Well, I guess that's supposed to the end of the chapter, but you're watching a review, you know what, you read the chapter. But essentially, we get to see All Might's car pulling up, and yo, I would legitimately, you would hear me bust from halfway across the planet, if not in the deepest reaches of space, if All Might hops out the car and Stain hops out right behind him. Like, you know how amazing that would be? Or even if Stain just pulls up, is like, Not looking very heroic, young Midori. Or, bro, you'd hear me bust. But regardless of that, we do get to see that they did capture Dictator. I kind of forgot. Why? I kind of forgot that Dictator was even a factor. Like, the fact that he was here was something that slipped my mind. I was so focused on the Class 1A versus Midoriya thing that he just left my mind. I forgot that that's why some people weren't there. They were taking care of Dictator. And it's specifically Kirishima, Hagakure, and Aoyama. And this is an interesting team up. I feel like we've never seen this before, but I guess this makes sense because unless Aoyama's trying to shoot Midoriya, and unless Kirishima's trying to punch Midoriya to death, and, well, I feel like Kirishima will make a good human shield against Midoriya, but considering that Rappa beat up Kirishima in Unbreakable, I wouldn't be shocked if Midoriya 45% could beat up Kirishima, especially just outpace him. And then Hagakure is just useless. To this day, no, I'm kidding. I know how she got in. She probably like tripped the robot's calls and break down, bada bing, bada boom, probably saving people. But still, like Hagakure, overall useless. There are so many 1B students that should be in 1A instead of her. But whatever, we won't even talk about that anymore. And we do get to see that the main reason that Endeavor's here is to pick up Dictator. And I love how all these kids are like, yo, we got to go say thank you to this man. We got to go be real ones. The ironic thing is, though, while Kirishima and Aoyama say they have so much to say to Midoriya and they can't really help out, but they still want to go say it anyway, and that's why they go run off towards him. Oh, wait, never mind. I'm dumb. Hagakure does say it. That's my bad. I do see it now. The line does lead to the gloves. I didn't notice the gloves because it's such a tiny panel. But regardless of that, I love how Endeavor's like, Hawks goes in to be like, yo, these are kids. Please go help them. They're probably going to cause more trouble than they're worth. Please go help. And Endeavor's like, nah, as of now, these students ain't going to hold us back no more. They're real heroes, boys. They're still freshmen in high school. Well, no, they're supposed to be sophomores now. They just didn't graduate because all school proceedings have been stopped. But even still, I'm super happy to see Endeavor, like, officially. He sort of did it when he threw them the GPS was it last chapter? See, the week break always jacks me up because I always assume there's been a chapter beforehand, even though I know there was a break. So I think it may have just been last chapter. So seeing Endeavor like acknowledge the students as full on proper heroes now, it's very, very cool. I love that because it's something you honestly wouldn't expect. Like this right here, character development. Endeavor would have never acknowledged these kids in the past. Like if you put chapter 1 Endeavor, or whatever chapter Endeavor first appeared in this current position, he would never acknowledge the kids. He tried to take it over himself. He probably wouldn't even be helping out in the way he did. They probably wouldn't even be here. That's character development. And that's what I'm talking about. That's why Endeavor's best boy. I know I said Ida. Don't worry, we'll get into that. But regardless of that, I love how everyone is like trying to tell Midoriya, yo, buddy, especially Todoroki. And Todoroki, but like, see, Todoroki's kind of spitting, but at the same time, I get how Midoriya is spitting, right? Because Todoroki brings up the great point that, yo, us like trying to stop you being out in the open like this, free to attack, free to get jumped, free to get mauled, could all just be part of All For One's plan. He's sort of been playing you like a fiddle so far. So I feel like it'd be better if instead of you running around, running yourself ragged, finding something you can't find, you just come back to UA and get ready to get jumped there. Because at least we can have some defenses, we can be prepared, not you out in the open almost dead. Come on now, come home, bro. And the thing is, he says that, he's saying All For One could take this opportunity to attack UA. And I feel like Todoroki fails to realize, like, I feel like everyone's sort of failing to realize this. Unless, like, that war arc feat of Shigaraki was just something that no one remembers, even though I'm pretty sure, like, they were all there. But Shigaraki leveled a city by touching the ground. And, like, to be fair, maybe they don't know that it was just his disintegration quirk. But I feel like one of the main objectives during the entire Shigaraki fight in the war arc was keep everybody off the ground, because if they're on the ground, they're being disintegrated. Like, I thought this was common knowledge, and they know that. So I'm shocked that this whole, we got to go back to the UA building, that's perfectly safe. I know there's a lot of faith. I have a lot of faith in Nezu. Maybe he's spitting, even though this is like an old defense system. Maybe like it can levitate UA off the ground or something to prevent Shigaraki from attacking it. But even still, UA is a sitting duck regardless whether or not Midori is there. And I get what Todoroki is saying. You've kind of failed so far. I feel like finding him isn't an option. Just roll with us. We'll try to do our best at UA. Bada bing, bada boom. I get what Todoroki's saying. At the same time, I love how All For One has sort of like hammered this nail into Midoriya's head. Like, you're next, you're next, you're next. Because what rings throughout Midoriya's head as he screams and rips out of the ice is that this is a fight between One for All and All for One, which is cool. I do like that this aspect of Midoriya's like stubborn character nature. I do like this, that he's so focused on the idea that you guys cannot keep up with me. I am built biologically, quirkologically different from y'all. I'm too strong. I'm too swole. I'm soloing all of you right now. And I love how Midoriya just casually breaks through the ice. And I can barely tell. I think, yeah, he does have All for One activated. Well, not All for One, One for All activated. But even still, he brings up a very good point. This is not really a fight between them and All for One. It's a fight between him / One for All versus All for One. Because they legit can't keep up. And we get to see that Uraraka is like the next line of defense. Because once Midoriya breaks free and goes flying, we get to see that Asui just like uses her tongue as a whip to launch. Actually, wait, no. That's not even, never mind. That's actually cool. I like how I got a little confused because Asui uses her tongue to try and like just latch onto Midoriya in one move, but the backup plan was Mineta. And so when Midoriya dodges her tongue just through sheer like, I think he legit just lifts his legs up, which is very, very cool. Once again, I love Midoriya's new advanced movement techniques. I don't know, like, it's just the little things, because what Midoriya's doing right now with his power is what I would do if I had the same capabilities. Like, I would just be in the air 90% of the time doing weird things. Oh, he could have just paused himself in the air with float, lifted his legs up, dodged Asui's tongue, and then kept it moving. That's really, really cool. Oh, that's the thing. I love when characters can move in very interesting ways that a regular human couldn't. And to be fair, there are a lot of characters who can do that in anime, or just in fiction in general, but you rarely get to see like these characters actually operating in midair, sort of like pausing, flying, moving around, readjusting themselves, firing off in different directions. We get to see that Mineta was on the end of the tongue chain, and he instantly goes with the Mineta grape chain. And I'll admit, I just straight up forgot about that. I forgot about the interaction that Mineta had with Midoriya at the USJ. Sorry for the 3 snaps. But the thing is, I love, see, this is nice. I like how Mineta, someone who has been shown in the past to not be like the most decent of people. He's kind of a freak, you know what I'm saying? Everyone hates him for it. I'm indifferent to him. But the thing is, we get to see that even he has a connection with Midoriya. I like that. I love how Midoriya is like forced to acknowledge it because he's like, wow, I really did save y'all behinds there. But I've got to go though. Like does he just rip off the chain? Does he actually land? I think, yeah, Mineta does tag Midoriya with his balls, but he manages to like just ignore it. Like Mineta's holding on to him with the grape chain, but then Midoriya, once again, I love the spatial awareness Midoriya has developed. Like without even looking, man's eyes are closed. Sure, he probably took, but that's even cooler. I love how his spatial awareness and his ability to understand and perceive situations and then evolve and react to them instantaneously with his quirks is evolving, because without even looking, at least in the general direction, he fires off 2 strands of Black Whip and he latches them onto something, and then he proceeds to yank all the way and he pulls back like a slingshot. And I love how he's thinking. He's parallel processes, like they mentioned a few chapters ago. He's thinking, okay, Black Whip's elasticity will act as a slingshot. The motion and power from One for All 45% and Fajin will give me enough momentum to just slingshot myself out of here. No one should be able to catch up to me, and no one should be able to stop me. And does he like, I'm not sure if he detaches himself from, does he still have the balls? YouTube, I don't mean it like that. I mean Mineta's orbs, but leave me be. But the thing is, we get to see that Midoriya, I guess he did just break free of the chain, which is interesting. Mineta's like orbs were not supposed to be able to detach from anything, but I guess this is a built different Midoriya, so he is built different. But the thing is, we do get to see, as that young boy Midoriya goes to escape velocity himself out of there, Uraraka has come in, and she's telling him, we're not gonna let you go. I can't let my love interest escape. And she, like, the interesting thing is, I was expecting Uraraka to have a much bigger moment. Like, who was the one that underwhelmed me the last chapter? Who was it? It was Todoroki, but Todoroki kind of picked himself up with the whole conversation he had with Midoriya at the start of this chapter. However, in terms of like interactions, for Uraraka to mention something that's so like non-specific, like Deku-kun is not the same as before. Actually, wait, maybe she was about to confess. Yeah, oh, maybe she was about to confess. Maybe Midoriya thought of the wrong situation and launched himself out of there before she could say what she actually wanted. Because I just realized that. She says, Deku-kun, it's not the same as before. And Midoriya's remembering the situation, not Uraraka. So he must be thinking of a different situation because he's not, like, he hasn't, right, like I said, in a while, he hasn't really expressed, well, bad English. He hasn't really expressed, bad English. He hasn't really expressed love towards Uraraka or any like flusteredness or like hesitation towards Uraraka in a long while. So I feel like all the romantic implications between her to him or him to her are like kind of gone, but she still has all of them towards him. And I feel like she's about to say sorry or confess or something like that because she's about to say I and then gets cut off. But then we get this whole scene that honestly straight up reminds me of that Invincible meme. Like, you know that, look at what they need to make a fraction of our power. Like legitimately, you just see All Might in his prime, Midoriya right now, and he's just, and like the picture of the flying planes in the far distance is just this combo move because it takes Todoroki making a gigantic ice wrap. Whoa, is he gonna make a quesadilla? But he has to make this gigantic ramp of ice. Ashido needs to cover up the main man in the safe acid goo. Then we get to see that it takes our three big boys. It takes Shoji, it takes Koda, it takes Sato, Alta, yank them back. It takes Todoroki using, once again, I do love it. I love the combination here. The wind burst with the hot and cold temperatures, making a pseudo tornado firing off. It takes Bakugo in the combination to act as even more propulsion. It takes Uraraka to smack the life out of whoever's in that bubble. Ooh, I wonder who could be. And she smacks it to make it all weightless. And then Todoroki with a declaration of we can't keep up, huh? He's ready. He's firing off. He's bursting into flames to melt away. I think he's legitimately melting away the acid so the person inside can get out. And then we get to see Bakugo coming in the clutch with this last burst of power. Explosive speed turbo cluster. And then it's burst to reveal our boy, our man, as Bakugo says he wants to talk to Midoriya about so many things. And I bet he does. I bet you want to apologize for being a whole abusive best friend. But regardless of that, we do get to see who is inside the bubble. Yo, it's Ida, bro. I know. A lot of y'all don't care about Ida. And is it Ida or Lita? I see some of y'all spell it like Lita, and I'm not sure. I need to just wait. Hold on. Let me just go listen to the anime real quick. All right, I'm back from watching the entire anime season 10 times over. No, I'm kidding. But essentially, yeah, it is Ida. It is Ida. It's not an L. I thought it was an L too, but no, it is an I. It's a double I for some reason. But, you know, some names have double I's in them. But regardless, I'm super happy to see him. I know a lot of people don't care, but Ida for me has always been like this character who has really kept Midoriya grounded after Midoriya grounded him. Like, Ida went straight on, had one of the most realistic reactions to his brother being attacked. He was like, I'm just gonna go kill Stain. And to see the development of Ida's true understanding of a hero after it was tainted by years and years of something different, all the society around him tainting him, and seeing Ida come back and learn from his mistake and help defeat Stain, that was always beautiful to me. I just feel like Horikoshi sort of just dropped Ida off the face of the planet after that. Like, he came back for short bursts, and every time we saw him I was so happy because he's one of my favorite characters. And to see him come back in this big bad way, being the only one supposedly who can handle the speed and power that Midoriya can, which is a testament to Ida's durability. But I suppose that makes sense. He's on a different level in terms of durability considering how much he has to run. But to see him come out the clutch like this, I'm super happy to see it. I'm glad that he's being used in this way because he really is the only tether that keeps Midoriya to the ground. Like Uraraka, Bakugo, and Todoroki. Like, no matter how important those three are to Midoriya, they're much more like dependent on him. They lean a lot on him. And while Ida used to be like that, he now wants Midoriya to lean back. And like, he's wanted that since forever. I think like all the way back since the overhaul arc when they had that lunch together. He's always been like, yo, Midoriya, I am here for you, bro. Like, he is the boy. He is the best boy. He is the homie. He's right there. So I do love that he's the one that admits that I could never keep up with you. And I've always been chasing behind. But that doesn't even matter to me. And he reaches out his hand towards Midoriya. And honestly, it's like it kind of This is a kind of funny panel. I love how Midoriya is drawn here because he looks so shocked, but he's so tired and dirty and filthy, and it makes sense. It's a beautiful panel in of itself, and you can see the dichotomy between, like, once again, it's the artistic talent behind, artistic skill behind Horikoshi. Look at how raggedy Midoriya and only Midoriya looks. Like, he looks like he's messily drawn, but that's on purpose. Because look at how clean the second user, I'm pretty sure, the second user of One for All and Ida are drawn. They're drawn so clean and perfect because they're in this, like, one's a spirit and one just came fresh out of UA. Meanwhile, you have the dirty, ragged Midoriya. I love the drawing dynamic here. I love how Ida just specifically grabs his hand and is like, he himself will always continue to challenge you, but continue to hold you back and be that hand you need when he needs it. And I kind of like how the second user of One for All acknowledges the only people who can keep up with him are those who would be willing to run alongside him. But at the same time, it's like, oh wait, it does have a chapter. I'm dumb. And before all y'all say the chapter title is at the end, I bet that's gonna be half the comments. But yeah, it does have this chapter does have a title to it, which is Chapter 321, From Class A to One for All. That's nice. I do like that. However, I do like especially how, like, the second user acknowledges it, even though I don't think it's true. Like, I was kind of joking about the Invincible meme earlier, but, like, look at what they need to mimic a fraction and what will legitimately be a fraction of Midoriya's true power. It took all that. You think All For One's really going to stand there and let them set all that up? And even still, I feel like, how savage would it be if All For One was just watching this entire scenario and it's in the moment, like, Ida reached out his hand, he leaped in with Shigaraki's body, grabbed Ida and disintegrated him right in front of Midoriya and just leaped away. Like, I know that'd be wrong. That'd be horrible. But it'd be hilarious. But no, I'm sorry. That would be even more torture for Midoriya's character. But I love how Ida concludes the chapter. Hey, sticking your nose in other people's business is what makes a true hero, right? And note how Horikoshi didn't even need the flashback there, because that moment is so strong, so memorable, all the way back in the Stain arc, literally hundreds of chapters ago at this point. Literal years away now, because it's 2021, golly. But the thing is, that is years away, but that moment is so strong, it doesn't even need a flashback. I specifically remember that moment between these two. I think that's great. Ida, fantastic here. This is a fantastic chapter. Like, I ain't got no complaints. What's for me to complain about, huh? The fact that Minetta's balls ripped, like, that's it. Nah, this is a 10 out of 10 chapter. Like, on all fronts, Horikoshi, a beast, bro. Like, actually a beast in terms of just artistic talent. In terms of writing, I keep saying talent, but I keep want to correct myself and saying skill. I say talent a lot because a lot of other people say artistic talent, but just in pure skill, the amount of detail the man puts into this are insane. I love how these characters are dragging Midoriya back from the brink. That is one of my favorite things. Well, not at the same time. Me, like a lot of other people, would have loved it if Midoriya alone was more than like a one chapter thing. We would have loved it. I would have greatly appreciated if we got maybe just 5 chapters dedicated to Midoriya being on his own and slowly degrading into like this I can't have my friends kind of monster. But even still, I think for what's happening right now, irrelevant of the context around this moment and how much I would have preferred if it had gone on a bit longer before we got to this point, even if Midoriya does go back next chapter, which is implied he may not, because the chapter ends with a very vague statement. It ends with, his hand reached him. Now Deku will ... ellipses, if you will. I think there is a whole possibility that Midoriya could be like, wow, thank you all so much. I'm still gone. There's 100% chance that he could still do that. Do I think he will? I don't know. I feel like all my hopping out that vehicle is the last straw. Like, that'll break the camel's back. And while it is true that in the context of chapter length, he got away from All Might like 4 chapters ago at this point, so it hasn't really been that long, I still think it will be good enough. And if All For One pops out the clutch and just goes full menace mode, I'd be even happier. I would lose my mind and just I'd be laughing. I'm not even gonna lie, it would be great. But regardless of that, I think this chapter is an easy, solid, meaty 10 out of 10 from the artwork to the character work to the design, from the design aspects of the 2 color pages to the idea of how this is an 11 out of 10 chapter because I love the fusion of techniques. I love the way Midoriya's moving and combining his own multiple quirks. I love how the class came together and are using their powers in tandem. Mineta with the Asui combo, the whole Todoroki, Bakugo, Shota, got like everyone. The everyone combo in order to get Ida to this point. Ida risking his body and self in order to go save Midoriya. Someone who's risked his body and self for them this entire time. I love everything about this chapter. 10 out of 10. Please tell me your thoughts on this chapter in the comment section down below. This was amazing. I think it was great. Wonderful. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you hit the little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.